to Caldwell County Today. I'm Paige Counts, Public Information Officer for Caldwell County. Joining me today is Carrie McFalls, Chief Growth and Development Officer for AMOREM. Welcome, Carrie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today, Paige.
And today we're going to talk about AMOREM as a nonprofit.
Yes, ma'am.
And the importance of donations to AMOREM.
That is correct. So AMOREM is your local nonprofit hospice provider that serves Caldwell County. We have been here for more than 40 years. We were originally called Caldwell Hospice and Palliative Care. About 4 years ago, we merged with Burke Hospice and Palliative Care to form AMOREM. We really wanted to make sure that we can maintain that legacy, community-based hospice care for the communities and the people that we serve. And so by coming together, it made us stronger. And we have a larger service area and a great community support. So,
just for people who may not be familiar, how large is your service area now?
We have 12 counties that we serve. However, Burke County, Caldwell County, Watauga County, Ashe County, and Avery County are probably our primary counties, with our home office being here in Lenoir.
And this is not on our list, but you recently opened a third inpatient facility, or fourth inpatient facility.
So we had a ribbon cutting.
Yes.
And so the unit itself is not open yet. The construction is complete. We are hiring for staff to staff that unit, and then also addressing some of the things that the state inspection notified us about. So we're going to address those things. Fingers crossed that we can have that facility opened by the first of the year. And that facility was made possible because of the generosity of the community, especially in the high country. We have a capital campaign that is still going on up there for a goal of $8.1 million, and we have raised just over $6.3.
So lots of opportunities to give.
Yes, yes.
But it's not just buildings that your funds provide, that people donate. There's so many more services.
Absolutely. Because we are a nonprofit hospice provider, we provide hospice and end-of-life care and palliative medicine to anyone regardless of their ability to pay. Just last fiscal year, we provided more than $1.3 million in unreimbursed care. That's incredible. We also can do things like extra therapies, pet therapy, music therapy, grief support services. We do all of these things that we are not reimbursed for because of the generosity of our community and the donations that we receive from it.
And I'm going to say those are the little things that make a really big impact for patients and families.
Absolutely. And some people think to themselves, well, I'd like to support AMOREM and its mission and the people that it serves, but I don't really have a whole lot to give. It's not going to, I don't have a whole lot to give. It's not going to really make an impact. But when you put everybody's gift together, when you put it all together, that's the impact that it can make. And I have a saying, as a fundraiser, I'd rather have $1 from 100 people than $100 from one person, because it's everybody coming together to support one mission, and it's very moving.
It is very moving, and I just think about all the services, all those little things with grief support or extra grief support. It's not just for hospice families.
That is right.
Into the community, and so many little things like that folks can get involved with.
So, a lot of people think that they can only receive our grief support services if their loved one was served by us. However, last fiscal year, we provided grief support services to nearly 300 people in the community that did not have a tie or connection to AMOREM. They're coming in for grief support. Maybe they've lost a loved one outside of our service area, or maybe they're just dealing with some grief from a loss years ago, but we do provide that at no cost to the people who need that service.
You also provide special support for veterans.
We do.
Which I think is a really awesome thing. Tell us about your veterans program.
So we have a veterans program called Veterans Honoring Veterans, and it is a special ceremony that takes place basically where we have a patient who's a veteran and another peer, a fellow veteran, will come in and do a ceremony with a flag and a lapkin and whatnot, and do not a salute to each other, and it's a really special thing for our volunteers that do that, and also for the patients who receive that.
And that's made possible because
of the donations from the, yes ma'am.
And we talk about I just think about talk a little bit more about some of the different programs provided, because there are so many. I couldn't name them all. So just cover some of those.
So of course with our hospice services, it is a holistic approach. So you have, it's not just the patient that we're taking care of, it is in the entire family unit or those whomever is important to the patient, so friends and family. We have a nurse who is assigned to that patient. There is CNA services offered to come several times a week or as needed. We have, if they choose, a chaplain to provide spiritual support. And one thing that I really like about our chaplains, they don't come in with a personal agenda to push any type of their religious beliefs on anyone, but they meet our patients and families where they are in their spiritual journey and support them that way. And we also have a social worker to help you navigate some of these challenging times, like mentally and emotionally. And so it is an entire holistic approach where we're supporting your spiritual needs, your emotional needs, your medical needs, all of that together. And then the extra perks or whatnot could be the Veterans Honoring Veterans program. We have a pet therapy program, which is one of my favorites, because when we get to see the doggies, you get to play with them and love all over them. And our patients really love when we bring our pet therapists around. We also have massage therapy that we're able to offer because of the donations from the community. Then we have other things like we have a hairstylist come in, and sometimes they give our patients a haircut or whatnot. So there's a lot of extra things that we try to do to really make sure that end of life is exactly how it should be, a quality end of life. We try to, if there's any types of special wishes that the patient may have, we try to honor those. We've taken patients fishing before. We've gotten them on the phone with their favorite local TV personality or whatnot. And so we always try to fulfill those last minute requests. And then, of course, with our palliative medicine program, it is just an added layer of support that is combined with your primary care provider or your specialist that you may be seeing. And that's just kind of like a step before hospice. So,
lots of services. So let's talk about the how. How can people give to hospice?
They can give in many different ways, Paige. They can give of their time. They can give an in-kind gift, like the Napkins that we give our veterans. There's several folks who make those by hand for us. They can look at our wish list on our website and give some of those items to us. They can give us cash. They can give us checks. They can make a credit card donation. They can give us stocks, or whatever they would like, however they would like to support us, whatever's most convenient. But of course, the easiest is probably to go to our website and visit our website, and that's amoremsupport.org. And there's a Donate Now page that goes, and it has several different funds that you can support and donate to. For instance, the Pet Therapy Assistance Fund. There is a High Country Capital Campaign Fund. And then what we are really asking for today, there is a Patient Assistance Fund. It is that Patient Assistance Fund that we use to help cover costs such as some of the things I see come through. A patient and their family is going through a hardship, and they can't afford to pay their utility bill. So we might pay it with those funds to help make sure that family stays warm this winter. Some other issues right after Hurricane Helene, we had a lot of patient needs, and the community really stepped up. And it blew my mind away how much community support we received to make sure that our patients and our staff were taken care of, because it impacted not just our patients, but our staff too. But the Patient Assistance Fund it provides a lot of extra help. It's not just about medical needs. It's making sure that there's no added stressors going on, that your well water is working right after Hurricane Helene.
Sure.
We had a situation where a patient and their family were collecting rainwater to do their laundry, and we found out it was because their well pump had gone out. So we had it fixed for them. They couldn't afford it, so we did it for them. It is truly an honor for us to be able to serve these people, our patients and our families, and to walk alongside of them at end of life, but we can't do it without the help of the community. And the community has been so supportive and generous in the many, many years that we've been here. So
The community really has supported hospice over the years, and this is just another reminder to reach out and support AMOREM, that they are the nonprofit hospice.
That is right.
And I'm just going to ask, nonprofit versus for-profit, can you hit on that just a little bit? Because I think that confuses people.
Okay, absolutely, Paige. So, neither is bad or good. We don't want to say anything bad about anyone, but a lot of the differences that you will see are in those extra therapies that are offered that we don't get reimbursed for. The pet therapy, the grief support services, all of those sort of things are added things that you will see a nonprofit hospice do, but may not see a for-profit hospice do because they don't get reimbursed for it. And then also, AMOREM is your only hospice provider in Caldwell County that has its own patient care unit. There's no other hospice that has a patient care unit in this county. And so that is because also a lot of for-profits, you wouldn't see them operate a patient care unit because you don't make a lot of money off of it. Oftentimes you lose money on a patient care unit, but we know it's the right thing to do to make sure that service is provided because it is a much needed service.
It really is. Thank you for explaining that. I just know that people who don't live and work in the medical world or the hospice world, sometimes they don't get that differentiation.
Well, and there's always that thought that hospice is at the very last minute, that you're going to hospice, right?
Right.
But really, the sooner we can get somebody on board with hospice services, the more they benefit from it. So.
And I believe, and I may be wrong because rules may have changed, but you're looking at people who would typically have a life expectancy of 6 months or less.
Correct. Now that doesn't mean if we bring you into service and that 6 months is up, like we're booting you out. You're not getting booted out, absolutely not. But that is the general rule of thumb whenever you look at somebody's hospice eligibility.
And really, that 6 months, you see a lot of care and sometimes even some improvement in quality of life just because you're getting that extra care.
I think on average, now this is not a guarantee, this is just on average, when you start focusing on the quality of your life and the quality of the end of life and the days that you have instead of quantity, you actually do end up having more days. People typically on hospice care, the sooner they come on, can live up to 22 days longer because they are holistically being taken care of. They're not on those hard medications that have so many side effects. They're not focused on trying to stay alive. They're focused on just spending time with their loved ones and the quality time that they can be together. And it relieves a lot of stress. So
it also relieves a lot of stress for the loved ones.
Oh my goodness. We have, at our patient care units, one of the things that we offer is respite care. And so we are able to bring our patients in to give the caregiver a much needed break. And a lot of caregivers have guilt, like, oh, I feel so bad saying I need a break, but it's okay. We're here not just for the patient, we're here to take care of you too. And so in all of our campuses, all of our patient care units have been paid for by the generous support of the communities that we serve.
So really, when we talk about AMOREM, we should talk about our AMOREM because it really does belong to the county and the people who have contributed.
That is absolutely right. We are here for the county. We work for you guys. It is your AMOREM. You're absolutely right, Paige. That's how we see it too.
Carrie, what have we forgotten to talk about?
I'm sure when I get in my car and drive away, I'll be like, that's what we forgot to talk about.
Well, you can come back and talk to us again. But I really do want people to consider AMOREM when you're thinking about your end of year giving.
That's right.
Or just check out the wish list.
Absolutely.
There's always items on there that you think, I don't have a lot to give, but those wish list items don't have to be very expensive.
That is right. And just last year, in the last fiscal year alone, we served more than 5,600 people.
That's incredible.
And so don't think your gift wouldn't make an impact. So we would really like for everyone to please consider AMOREM when you're thinking about that year-end giving.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Paige.
And thank you for watching Caldwell County Today.